No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
Okay, people, so before I get into the crux of this rant video, I want to stress before anything that valid criticism is always an okay thing, whether it be an anime, a manga, whatever it may be. Valid criticism, constructive criticism is something that is welcome because that usually is used to implement, moving forward and making a better product and things like that. So I'm always a fan of, yes, give valid criticism, give constructive criticism, whatever it may be. Absolutely, it's justified, including certain aspects of what this rant is going to be about. Like if there is bad animation or art or anything of the aesthetics of an anime, absolutely call it out. Absolutely say, hey, that's not on par with what it should be. However, now diving into it, one of the things that grinds my gears, lad, really gets me pissed off at this point especially, is that I feel like a new generation of anime fans has been ushered in with a spoiled mentality. And what I mean by that is, I think Studio Ufotable and Studio Mappa more recently have really spoiled people and gave them unrealistic expectations regarding what art and animation for an anime should be. Because Demon Slayer and like Jujutsu Kaisen in particular, or all of the Fate incarnations that, Ufotable have animated, those are next level, top tier, high quality art and animation pieces. Like they're really nicely done. And on top of that, they're not films, they're, TV anime. So like people watching those, especially more newcomers to the medium, they're looking at it as, oh snap, this is amazing. This is incredible. Anime is like, some next level shit. Like this is what it looks like. So then they go from something like that to what inspired this video to begin with, Tokyo Revengers, and they're looking at it like, oh, this is trash, this is garbage, get it out of here. Because you go to Demon Slayer, you go to Jujutsu Kaisen, you go to something like that, and you compare it art and animation wise, and Tokyo Revengers can't compete. Tokyo Revengers is like, subpar animation, not the best animation. The art is fine in my opinion. It's nothing, dazzling per se, but the art is okay, but the animation is definitely not nowhere close to the level of a Ufotable production or Studio Mappa, Jujutsu Kaisen level, or even the soon-to-be Chainsaw Man anime that they're working on right now. It is not on that level. And the slander I've seen coming out of this whole new wave of anime fans, and even some older ones, I think a lot of people, even skilled vets, they've seen what, anime can look like at its prime, and they're getting spoiled to this idea as well, because now they're going to series, and they're looking at series, and even if the story is rich, even if the character development, characterization, all of that world building, everything outside of the art and animation is great, if the art and animation isn't on 11, they're like, it's trash. And in particular, Tokyo Revengers has been a victim of this already. One of the major cases I've seen, people are like, it's garbage. And a lot of their reasoning is that the art and animation, but especially animation, is not on the top tierest level. And that is just very disheartening to see because, newsflash for newcomers especially, every anime adaptation is not going to be top tier animated. It's just impossible. The amount of talented animators that are able to bring forth a product like, what Demon Slayer is, what Jujutsu Kaisen is, what Chainsaw Man is more than likely going to be, is few and far between. There's not that many people that are capable, that many directors that are capable of bringing forth something like that. On top of that, the budget to be able to pay all these people, which, I guess budget shouldn't really be an issue considering they be paying these people peanuts and stuff like that. But the people capable of making this is few and far between. It's a limited roster of people that are capable of doing this. A lot of people that come into the animation field, they're, newbies. Like, for example, Black Clover, its last episode, if I'm not mistaken, or one of the last episodes, was animated by fans around the world. Like, here's a scene here, here's a scene there, and they were pretty much newcomers. So, yeah, the anime industry has limited staff to be able to create products at that level. On top of that, here's the ugly truth that maybe you aren't aware of. A lot of people are, but there's few people that still don't know, they be slaving these animators. These animators work 80-hour, 100-hour weeks. I talk about this on Forever News all the time, and they get pennies, they get peanuts, they get really, really low wages, to the point where a lot of them, they're not even under contract or anything like that, so they don't have no health care insurance or anything like that. And I know younger kids are like, health care insurance, that is very, very important. Health insurance is very, extremely important. But even just besides that, a livable wage, like, you know what I'm saying? They're talking about, like, if you're under contract, you could potentially get like $2,000 a month, $2,500 a month under contract. And those people in my comments that are like, yo, at Walmart, I be making that or more. And, you know, I'm just like stocking shit into shelves. These people are killing themselves working 80-hour week, bent over drawing and shit like that. How is this happening? So it's bad enough that this is already the case. And then on top of that, you're expecting more of this situation to happen in order to bring forth products like Demon Slayer. Like, these people are still being slaved. Like, don't get it mistaken. Tokyo Revengers, I'm sure the people that are working on it, they wish they could get paid way more. They're probably overworked as hell, and that's what they're bringing forth, because again, they don't have that same skill, that same talent like the people on Demon Slayer, but they're busting their asses too. The people that are making those things are busting their ass, and they're still, on top of all of the work they're putting in, they're not even getting the respect, considering they're adapting a great freaking story. Tokyo Revengers is freaking amazing. Like, I've been loving the anime, I've been loving the story, the characters and everything like that, because honestly, animation and art is 100% important, but story is very much so important as well. You've seen time and time again where we'll have a beautiful product of the art and animation is on 10, but if the story sucks ass, people are gonna say, get it out of here, we don't care. I don't care if a jar of mayonnaise with a cape is flying around in beautiful fluid animation. It's a jar of fucking mayonnaise with a cape. Who gives a fuck? Or take a prime example right here. I'm gonna give you guys a great example. Berserk 1997, not to be confused with the CGI mess of 2016. No. Move that shit aside. I'm talking about the OG Berserk anime that came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere around there, where one of the arguments about that series is the fact that it had, you know, very poor art and animation, but for the longest time, it was still considered a damn near classic, and people raved, and you know, it got people into the Berserk manga because it was so damn good. I rewatch Berserk every freaking year, the old anime, because it's just so rich with story and stuff like that. So even though the art and animation of the old Berserk wasn't the best, it was still decent enough that you could watch it, and it told a story that is phenomenal. So that's a perfect example of something that, yeah, the art and animation weren't the best. Again, it's nothing like the levels of 2016. But the art and animation wasn't the greatest in the world, but it still shined through and was still revered by anime fans for decades, up until now. This new crop of fandom that is coming in, seeing Demon Slayer looking like a film each and every episode, seeing Jujutsu Kaisen that is looking like a film each and every episode, and they're like, everything is going to be like that. And when it's not, they are getting pissed off, and that just sucks. Like, that's a terrible mindset to have. First of all, you basically saying that you want people to be slaving even harder than they're already slaving to create these pieces of work. And then on top of that, you're having unrealistic expectations. You're just genuinely going to be disappointed, and you're not going to enjoy this medium that you just got into or you've been into for a while if you're expecting that. And above all else, anime isn't only animation. Yes, anime, and which is short for animation, is a big thing about it moving and stuff like that. But the story, the characters, if that isn't what you're putting at the forefront, then what are you doing? It's supposed to be a perfect marriage of both. And if one is lacking, yes, you can criticize it. Yes, it's still a pretty significant deal to look at, whatnot. But if it's still okay, if it's, let's just say, subpar animation, but really bomb-ass characters and story and everything else, then why are you gonna shit on it? Why are you gonna say it's horrible? It ain't shit because something else is, like, you know, mastering both. I don't know. This has been really kind of weighing on me recently, seeing the new age anime and manga fans. And of course, granted, a lot of them are younger, but I've seen some people that are a little bit older too, and they're falling into this trap of Fam, like, yo, we've been watching stuff that, you know, had bad art and animation for years, but at the very least, we love the story, we love the characters, and we said, it's pretty decent for the most part, besides those problems, those aesthetic issues. Nowadays, people aren't having that, and they're just calling it, you know, it's either great because it matches and checks all the boxes, or it's trash if it's missing a box or two of checking off for being 10 out of 10. And you're cheating yourself out of an experience. Like, there's so many great stories out there that are told via anime that, again, they may not have the unlimited budget works that Ufotable will have, or the intense, insane, action-packed stuff that Mappa can do with their animation, but they're still very well done stories, and they still deserve to be told, and you'll probably like them. It's okay to have expectations, but everything isn't 10 out of 10, and that's okay. Sometimes an 8 out of 10, or a 9 out of 10, or a 7 out of 10 is just fine, and that's just the way life is. Nothing is perfect, and even those stories, like for example, Demon Slayer, people will shit on, okay, it has the best art and animation, but then you'll have people that'll say the story isn't the greatest. Likewise with Jujutsu Kaisen, like there's always going to be criticism surrounding it. It's just a matter of like, let's not get carried away now. Like, art and animation isn't the end all be all. I love my good story, I love my characters, etc, etc. But I'm curious what you guys think for both sides of the spectrum. If you're a person that you really only watch anime for, you want high budgeted, high quality art and animation like a Demon Slayer, a Fate Stay Night Unlimited, Blade Works, a Fate Zero, Jujutsu Kaisen, and you don't really care about any of that stuff, why is that? But yeah, I'm curious what you guys think, I guess, of this whole idea now. Have you seen this type of fandom that's been running around basically shitting on stuff like Tokyo Revengers and saying it isn't good enough because of the art and animation levels? Your thoughts on this, your take on this? Maybe you want to defend that. Maybe you feel like every anime should meet a criteria of having Ufotable levels of animation. Let me know your overall thoughts on this discussion, but I ain't gonna lie, I think that shit is absolute trash to shit on a series strictly because of an aesthetic. Like, nah fam, there's so much more to anime than just animation. Just saying. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life. Bye. Have an awesome day. Peace in, and yeah, stop stressing over the high quality animation that you feel every series needs to have. It doesn't need that. If it has great story, great characters, great world building, everything else, every box checked aside from 10 out of 10 animation, it has 7 out of 10 animation, it's still worth a watch and still deserves its praise and respect. Yeah, have an awesome one.
We only care about animation.
Can you fucking stop?
So just go to